Welcome back to Independent Blazers. I'm Dan,
Joe,
and today we are going to talk about the different types of scams in Thailand.
first,
Yes, but first what, Joe?
like, subscribe, share, bang the notification button. Please share with your family and friends. It helps us, but it also helps you. And Dan, we have an interesting topic today.
Now, Joe, tell us.
Go ahead. Scams to avoid when you come to Thailand. Dan, have you ever been scammed before?
Of course, it's inevitable. No matter how well you think you know Thailand, you're going to get tricked at some point. And believe me, there are times you might even know you're getting tricked, but sometimes it's the only way out of a situation. It's often for something small, like only a few dollars. So look, there were times I knew, in fact, there were a hidden fee or something when I thought, this makes a difference between $3 or possibly bad brawl, which I was likely to lose, being outnumbered or getting arrested. And so I thought, no, I'm going to pay my $3 and walk away.
Well, when people come to visit Thailand, don't come with the attitude you think it can happen to me. Watch out for these shocking scams we're going to tell you about. Don't be the one that risks losing thousands of dollars, and don't think it can't happen to you. All walks of life come to Thailand. Rich, middle class, lawyers, doctors, soldiers, merchant marines, teachers. And you know what? Some of the smartest people intellectually have been scammed. I always say a lot of the Thais have a PhD in the streets. So
not just intellectuals, even people who knew the streets in their
absolutely.
own. They thought they are street smart in their own countries, but when they come, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, before we get into it, though, I want to let you know that Thailand is a place you're going to find a lot less violent street crime, at least as a foreigner. If I were Thai, it'd be different, but as a foreigner, I have been threatened way less here, had witnessed way less assaults and all, and
absolutely. Thailand's a wonderful place. And believe me, there's no perfect place on earth. There's a lot more good here than bad. That's why we're here. But what we're going to promise you before the end of this video, you'll know the most dangerous traps tourists fall into and how to avoid them. And Dan, let's talk about the first one. Fake tourist police scam. Some scammers pose as police officers targeting tourists with fake fines or threats of arrest. Dan, how does it work?
Well, that one I'm not too familiar with, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you then. They may demand an on-the-spot payments or confiscate valuables. For example, there's a case of a tourist who lost over $1,000 in one encounter. Now, folks, in the videos, we're not going to give you names of people and who they were, but this one was due to someone was a fake, acting like a fake tourist police, had a fake uniform. They weren't really a tourist policeman. They were scamming. This person gave $1,000. They were afraid of going to jail. Fake police in Thailand, tourist scams in Bangkok and Pattaya. Okay, it happens. Now, you have to know where the tourist police offices are, okay, before you come here, okay? Because there are real tourist police. There's in Pattaya, there's an office in Jomtien. There's offices in Central Pattaya. There's also offices set up in Bangkok. And again, I don't know, but I'm not going to lie to you folks. I'm not as familiar with Phuket. I just been there a couple times with Dan. Do you know of any offices being set up in Phuket?
Sorry, say again?
Tourist police office, legit ones. They're there. I know they're there, but that one I don't know as well. But people do dress, and there's fake tourist police. And I'll give you an example. It was in downtown Bangkok. They were being followed. The person claimed to be a tourist, part of the tourist police, and they said, "Oh, you littered. You can be fined." And they tried to get 15,000 baht off them. Now, look, if the tourist police, believe me, they get vetted and they have to go through a course. They're not just going to make you a tourist policeman. Now, I'm not saying it's the toughest course, but they still got to go through some things. And before they just put you on the street as a tourist policeman. So if someone's trying to follow you or get money off you without going to the station, chances are they're scamming you.
Yeah. And yeah, to be honest with you, I never had much experience, nor have I heard many stories. I've been here enough years, but I'm glad you told me. But let's talk some other ones I'm familiar with. The tuk-tuk scam, the gem scam, the jet ski scam. Where to begin? Joe?
Jet ski scam. Jet ski scam. I think thousands of tourists over the years have fallen victim to this jet ski scam. Or actually, I would say thousands every year. Renters claim tourists damaged a jet ski, and they demand hefty repairs and lots of money.
That's
How
right.
does, how does it work?
There was a documentary on it. Okay, what they do is they put a superficial amount of paint over a jet ski or a light plastic covering. They know the tourists will likely not know the difference. It will come off in the water, and the owners will say that you damaged it when in fact it was already damaged. It was just poorly covered, and it's a way to get a good amount of money off people. And they say, now if you don't pay, we'll call the police. And unfortunately, they know that the tourists don't know the way around. They don't know who's who. And some people still resist. There was an episode called Trouble in Paradise where some Royal British Navy guys went and rented some jet skis, and they had to get their commanding officer to come down and resolve the matter. So overall, I do not recommend renting jet skis in places like Pattaya or Phuket. Nah, I do not.
I've spoken to a couple of people off the record about this, and I told them, look, I'm not going to say your name on here or anything, but one gentleman, I won't say even where he's from, he reported to me that he paid over 15,000 baht in damages. They tried to get a lot more off him, claiming that he damaged the jet ski. I know this happens a lot in Phuket. I've heard it, and some in Pattaya. So, around a lot of the Thai beaches, this scam happens. And the reason I say Phuket, because what I've read in the news in the past and other times, it seems like it happens in Phuket quite a bit. And again, I love Phuket. Remember, folks, Thailand's a lot more good and bad, but these scams happen.
Yes, we're definitely not trying to deter anyone coming to Thailand.
Just to be careful.
Yeah. But like I say, you're more likely to fall for a scam than you are to be violently assaulted or robbed at gunpoint, or you didn't hit for that.
Yes, I've never had that pickpocket. Like I said, it's a really safe country.
It is.
What about tuk-tuk and taxi overcharge, Dan? There's some shocking facts we have for you here. Some tuk-tuks and taxis charge tourists 5 times the local rate. Local rate. In some cases, they even collaborate with tour guides to lead you to be overpriced. Especially they claim they'll take you to stores or certain attractions, and they'll charge you 5 times what it should be.
Oh, that's one of two ways. Another way is that tuk-tuk drivers will stand in front of tourist attractions such as the Grand Palace or Wat Po, and before you can get to the entrance, they'll insist, oh no, it's closed today, but I'll tell you what, want to come for a ride? And they say, they'll take you to a place like a gem shop and what have you, and unless you're a gemologist, you're very likely to get ripped off. Or they'll take you to a city bar, restaurant, and get overcharged. Now, as for the taxis themselves, taxis in Bangkok only, they have to use meters.
They do, but they don't always use them, especially late at night. You can be with your family coming out of a restaurant, get a taxi on Sukhumvit Road. It won't use the meter. Excuse me, folks, I had to sneeze there, but they won't. Sorry about that, folks, but yes, they won't turn on the meter. Don't go in the taxi if they don't turn on the meter. Don't do it.
That's right. And that's what I noticed. If you're in touristy places or places that are just busy and something like especially much around Sukhumvit Road or Silom or around Khao San, you're going to have to walk quite a distance to get a legitimate taxi. But thankfully now they have Grab, Bolt, and believe me, much to the displeasure of a lot of taxi drivers who would otherwise.
Yeah, motorbike drivers, taxi drivers. Now, the motorbike riders, me personally, usually we set the price beforehand. I never experienced that as bad. Maybe others have. I'm just giving you my personal experience on it. Now, the taxi drivers late at night, I'll say, hey, turn on the meter. So they've tried, no, 300 baht. I'm like, it's only around the block. So you just got to be careful.
Yeah, that's right. But like I say, when in doubt, get the Grab app or Bolt if you don't already have it. And that will save you a lot of trouble. Otherwise, otherwise, just any taxi in Bangkok that wants to negotiate a fare, don't. Just don't.
What about the Gemstone scam, Dan? Let's talk about Gemstone scam. Now, this has never happened to me personally. Some tourists are conned into buying rare gems at inflated prices, only to find out that they're worthless fakes.
That's right.
How this works, the scam involves normally a network of tuk-tuk drivers and fake tour guides and shop owners. Dan, do you have any examples? Have you heard anything about this type of scam?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was mentioning earlier how tuk-tuk drivers will stand in front of tourist attractions and say that it's closed and to come with them. They got a special price for you, yada, yada, yada. And, okay, I read this in a book years ago. Let's say someone does indeed go inside the shop. They'll ask you what country you're from. Oh, sure enough, the shopkeeper will say, oh, yes, my son is studying in whatever your country is, I suppose. And they know that the majority of people who go in there do not know the difference. And the tuk-tuk drivers get a commission for it. So even if no sales happen, the fact is, the shop owners will pay the tuk-tuk drivers or taxi drivers or corrupt tour guides or whatever, fake tour guides. They'll pay them a fee just for, it's already prepaid.
Well, I heard a while back one tourist lost about $5,000 after being convinced they were buying a high quality gem. And again, the gemstone scam in Thailand. I'm not really in the gemstones, so this one doesn't affect. I know I've heard of a few people this has affected, but it does happen. Again, you can Google how to spot fake gems in Thailand. You can Google it. Maybe in the future we'll have someone on if this continues to be a big problem. But yeah, there's some people that come here, they do like gemstones. Me, I don't see this happening to me, not because I think I'm smarter, but I'm just not into gemstones.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't know the difference. I'm just not into it in the first place. And well, I'm too paranoid. You know, I'm too hyper vigilant to really get involved in something like that.
What about the temple closed scam, Danny?
Temple closed scam. That one I'm not so sure on. Joe, can you shine some?
Well, some scammers will tell the tourists that famous temples are closed for a special holiday.
It closed with an ED.
Yeah.
I said that part already. I thought you said clothes and like clothes.
No. Leading them to fake tours or overpriced shops. They lure the tourists away. They try to redirect them to stores where overpriced goods and services are pushed. And, we know you want to go to the temple, but instead of going to the temple, I know a good store you can go to. I know. The stores usually end up getting redirected. Sometimes, in some cases, spending over 10,000 baht. And sometimes, again, folks, a lot of these folks, they're very street smart, and they can be very cunning and be very friendly and try to redirect you because they'll get a from the store owner, or sometimes, a lot of times, the store owners are in cahoots with the tuk-tuk drivers or the taxi driver.
Joe, you mean sometimes?
Well, almost all the time. I'm trying to be kind here. But yes, you are right.
Yeah, it's an old one. Although I have a funny story. One time I was with friends and I warned them about that scam. I said, "Watch, they're going to tell you it's closed." And we walked down this. We were going to the Grand Palace, so we walked by these people. I say, "Oh, it's closed." I said, "Yeah, right." But guess what? That particular day, it was closed. I actually got to the gates and at the ticket office, it was indeed closed. So for once, those two drivers were telling me the truth.
Now, this is for the adults. And again, we're not saying here on Independent Blazers that we endorse the sex industry, but I think it needs to be brought up. Let's face it, some tourists come here, they're looking for a relationship. They want to have adult relationships. In other words, they want, they're exploring the sex industry. And again, we're not saying we endorse this, but a lot of tuk-tuk drivers they'll have a little pamphlet of pictures of attractive, scantily clad women. And they'll try to come and tell you, hey, massage, this, that. And they'll try to lure you into the
boom, boom, come on.
Right. they'll try to lure you and they'll take you. And again, the tuk-tuk driver will get a piece of that action and they'll try to overcharge you for that massage.
And here's the problem too. You see, once you learn you've been ripped off, once someone learns they've been ripped off, they can't go to the police because technically,
Yeah,
prostitution
on
Thailand
the books.
on the books it is just like technically, certain substances are illegal in the
Yes,
Netherlands, but they're highly tolerated
yes,
and decriminalized and all that. But no, you can't say that
yeah, because you
you
can't.
can't.
It's technically
Oh,
illegal.
that's right.
So you can't go to the police station if maybe you go to Tungor Police Station or go to Lumpini Police Station near Lumpini Park. And oh, by the way, hey, well, it's not going to work. So be vigilant, as they used to say in the Navy. Keep your head on a swivel. Just be
Yep.
on here, because like Thailand, look, overall, Thailand is a wonderful place. It's an incredible place. I think it's one of the great paradises on earth. But still, no place is perfect. So keep that in mind. Again, and let's be honest, some adults come here looking for that. Okay.
Yeah, don't forget also, and some of them, and by the way, some of those women, they're not always women. Now, by the way,
Yes.
I look, some people actually like that, and that is fine. Some people, some people like ladyboys and all that, and that's fine. If the person who likes ladyboys goes for it, that's okay. But pretending to be a woman when is something else.
Yes.
And by the way, guys, just in case it does happen to you and you feel humiliated, don't try to fight lady boys.
No.
Number one, they are still men, and enough of them can fight. Number two, they're often coming groups, and
They
it's not a
come in
pleasant.
to that and that, not just with that, but any tie. Don't try to fight, because believe me, that they fight in packs. You don't want to do, and be careful of this one also. If you're going to a bar and you meet a young lady, be careful your drink is not getting spiked.
That's right.
And you go,
That's right.
yep.
I've noticed some cases of it happening, but it's a lot rarer these days. I was warned about it 21 years ago. I was very paranoid about it.
Yeah, in the
But
past, I've heard about it.
yeah, it's not as common as before. But still, when you're in places that are very touristy or places where people just look pretty shady and all that, it's good to keep your eyes on your drink.
All right.
So it happened to me, knock on wood, but I'd like it to.
And again, come here with an open mind, but also an alert mind. Okay. Don't think something, be humble, be alert. Don't think something can't happen to you. Don't be arrogant enough to think like that, because it can.
It can.
All right. What about, Dan, fake hotel and accommodation listings? And there's been a rise in fake hotel listings targeting tourists in recent years, especially on some popular booking platforms.
Yeah, for what I understand about it, you might book a hotel under a certain site and they could steal your information, or once you show up, it turns out it's either not in existence or it's already taken or something. And I mean, that's what I know about it.
With technology, there have been cases where the scammers post non-existent hotels, or they Photoshop listings, and they'll take the payments up front. And these particular hotels don't exist.
I mean, back in the day, it was towns that would stand in front of either train station, bus station, or airports. They'd show pictures of a hotel and they'd say, "Come on to the place." You show up, it's nowhere near as nice as in the pictures, and well, they got a commission whether or not you stayed there, but still.
And this happens also with Airbnb listings too. So you have to really be careful, do your research. But again, don't think it can't happen, okay? Because it can. But overall here, when you come to Thailand, again, great country. You'll have the time of your life. But just keep these things in mind. Everywhere in the world, there's places that have scams, or even the greatest places on earth. There's nothing perfect. If we human beings are on the planet, believe me, we're flawed. We're not perfect.
That's right. Now, look, like I say, I've been coming here for over 21 years. I've lived here for a total of 13 years. And I got to admit, some things, I'm still not one to say, oh, it can never happen to me. Sure it could. Sure it could. And like I say, there are times I knew I was getting ripped off, but I had no choice but to go with it. That's just a reality of life. How about you, Joe?
Yeah,
Which
I've been ripped off before this happened. Again, I've been pretty fortunate, but still, it happened. Things have happened to me. I mean, one time, and again, I had some fake money back from a guy. I thought I could trust a guy, and it wasn't even a tie. I exchanged some money. I thought the guy was a decent dude. Come to find out, he gave me some fake U.S. dollars. And I looked closely because I was too trusting. I thought the guy was all right. And remember, some of the scams, folks, they're not ties. They can be foreigners, fake
uh-huh.
boiler room scams, investment scams. A lot of people come to us, particularly foreigners. They come here and reinvent themselves. A lot of fake Navy SEALs, stolen valor, people running boiler room scams, which is like fake investments and all sorts of stuff. So these scams are just related, the ties. I mean, a lot of foreigners will try to scam. So
Oh, yeah,
keep
that's
in
it.
mind.
As an expat, sometimes often when I understand about expats, the worst enemies I've seen expats make were not Thais, but other foreigners,
Well,
other for like
yeah,
other Westerners.
absolutely. So Dan, this brings us to counterfeit goods.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fakes out there. Like, for example, and again, I want to emphasize this point. You'll see the people selling the fake watches or the fake phones on the street. And a lot of them are Indian descent. Now, please, I love of the Indians. I love one of the things I love about Bangkok are different ethnicities, but some of these folks are connected to some mob, some of the mob or some have people behind them and they're forced to doing this kind of work. Obviously, look, if you see that happening, unless you know the game, but you just think, oh, it's a fake Rolex, so come out there, hey, it's real. No, obviously it's a fake. Now, I know people that bought them just to help the guy out, but they know it's a fake.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, watch for that. That's
Yeah.
pretty out in the open.
How about tailor shop scams?
Yes. Have you ever experienced that one, Dan? I have not experienced that. I've heard about it.
No, I didn't. But then again, maybe part of the reason why I didn't experience a tailor shop scam is because I'm not one who's big on products or brand names. I just say, hey, that looks nice, or hey, I like this. This feels good, so I'm going to buy it. Not so much. It's got to be what Armani or whatever it is.
Right.
And so, but people who are very big on product, there are a lot of counterfeit suits.
Now, the Thai government has cracked down on this in recent years, but it used to be a lot of money laundering going on here years ago. And some of the tailor shops were used as money laundering operations. So again, our country has a lot of problems with crime and scamming. A lot of countries on earth have their issues. So again, keep in mind, I want to emphasize this. I know I sound like a broken record. Thailand is great. We're just telling you to look out for these little things. They can turn big. The little things can turn big if you don't manage. But Thailand is phenomenal. All right. Counterfeit goods. Dan, the black market for fake designer goods is widespread.
Oh, yeah.
Some tourists getting caught up unwittingly into purchasing counterfeit items. Tourists are lured into markets where counterfeit electronics, bags, or watches are sold. We touched on the watches a little bit on the street, but they also can happen in certain markets and they often break soon after the purchase. Dan, have you encountered this?
Oh yeah, that's right. And I've heard other stories as well. Sometimes something will be ancient or old. Turns out they were stuffed with newspapers and more fairly recent newspapers.
I remember about 10 years ago, I was going to a university here in Thailand. This poor girl, I don't know, I can't remember where she was but I knew, oh, Joe, look what I got. I got this phone for 1,000 baht. And I'm thinking to her, I feel like saying, little sister, probably in a few days, if you're lucky, that'll work. It's not going to work after a while. And the phone did not work after a couple of days. So he got it out of market. And
That's right. And part of being young is being extremely naive, and I
right.
was no. By the way, there's two other things. Okay, number one, I do not recommend. I'm going to talk about drugs and also romance scams, but first the drug part. Number one, if you want to do hard drugs, I do not recommend doing it here. They have such strict laws, and often what people will do is they'll sell it to you on the street. They'll say, want to buy some cocaine, want to buy some meth, or whatever it is. And sure enough, moments after you buy it, especially lower Sukhumvit, Moments after you buy it, a cop comes and randomly decides to stop and search you and finds it. Or
And
they ask the guy,
sometimes the
oh,
cops will have informants, and some of those girls will try to maybe sell you ice or something. And now, a lot of times, you don't put it this way. Even if you get off the hook, it may cost you. But believe me, you do not want to go to a Thai jail.
no, you do not. I have never been, and I don't want to go either.
I visited once
Still,
and was visiting someone there, but I didn't go in it.
look,
Um,
Thailand is one of the best places to live as an expat. It's one of the worst places to do time. And no, but like I say, this part of the world is not very tolerant when it comes to hard drugs.
Now,
Don't.
real quick on the counterfeit goods, real quick, going back to just real fast. There's a big handbag scam where a lot of travelers they'll think they're buying a good designer handbag, say for 6,000 baht, like $200 USD, and the bag they think they're getting this real Gucci bag, or they think they're getting a good deal. And like within 5 days, it starts falling apart. There's a big counterfeit market. And, be careful when you go to some of the markets where they have fake electronics, fake designer bags. Somebody just want to be careful.
That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, the romance scams. Okay, as Joe and I both previously said, we're not advocating for the sex industry or prostitution or anything, but often foreigners, a lot of foreigners of all nationalities, they go to the bars. They meet someone. She always has a sob story. He wants to be her savior, or he'll be her boyfriend. She says she's going to stop working at the bar, but she's told this to at least 5 or 6 other guys, probably that week alone. So what? The foreigners go back to their country, think they have a girlfriend in Thailand. Little does she know, little did any of them know, she's getting like 5 or 6 different sources of income
Yeah,
from
like
them.
different sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm saying, true love does exist in Thailand. I've seen
Of
lots
course,
of.
is it? Look, Thailand, the Thais overall wonderful people. You can have a wonderful relationship, but you'll get the occasional scams. Well, the water buffalo is dead. I need, or I need, and who knows? Maybe in some cases it's true, but just be careful that you don't get sucked up into that. Before you know it, your bank account's dwindling. The old saying in Thailand is, how do you get $1 million, Stan? You lose two.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, there's all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
There's also
Yes. What about the pickpocketing and the pickpocketing scam here? Pickpocketing remains one of the most common tourist targeted crimes, especially in crowded areas. How does it work? Yeah. Scammers use distractions like street performances or stage accidents to pickpocket tourists. Dan, have you heard about this lately? This one?
I mean, it's nothing unique to Thailand. To be honest with you, I saw a lot more pickpocketing. Well, not saw it, but knew of it happening more in Europe and Turkey and all. But Thailand, there's in some cases, but mostly, okay, put your wallet in your front pocket, first of all. Second of all, now, if you're cautious, it shouldn't be too bad. But there's sometimes bad thieves will come by to snatch a bag from a woman and get on a bike and run off, or sometimes even while riding, they'll just grab it from a
Truth
person.
is, and look, I love Southeast Asia overall. This has happened more in Cambodia, I've seen it in Manila, than in Thailand. Not saying it doesn't happen in Thailand, but I don't see it this is my personal experience, folks. I don't see it as much as I've seen that in other countries, the pickpocketing. Like I said, I've always put my wallet in my front pocket. So that, look, Dan just mentioned, that's a good practice.
Right. By the way, only once did someone attempt to. This was back in 2003. Luckily, though, I'm very on edge. I'm hyper vigilant. I could feel something tugging in my front pocket. I quickly grabbed it. And what do? I look down. It's like a boy no older than 5. And he looks at me and goes, hey, hey, hey. And I gave him a psychotic look and went, ha ha, like, basically, I let you go because you're a little kid. Don't ever do that again. But that was my own experience with attempted pickpocketing in Thailand. And yeah, that's my story. It's not a big.
Yeah, and again, it happens. You just got to be vigilant, be careful. Look, there are scams everywhere. But remember, have your guard up. Don't think it can't happen to you, because believe it or not, it could easily have people easily fall for them, and smart people fall for them. So
People who've lived here for years fall for it.
absolutely, people usually get caught up, and maybe they buy some fake electronics. They see a good deal, and all of a sudden they see the electronics, whatever the electronic device they bought, starts falling apart. The fake Gucci bag, the fake gemstone. It happens. Believe me, these things can happen. It's easy to fall from, but use reliable travel apps, my friend. Like Dan said, if you're not comfortable at night, you don't want to get in a taxi by yourself, call a Bolt, call a Grab, and in most instances they're cheaper actually, and particularly Grab. Grab, they have a standard. The license plate has to match. Their drivers are checked, so Grab has a pretty high standard for their drivers. I don't know as much about Bolt. I've used Bolt, and they're both good. But I know for a fact, I know some people that work with Grab, and they have to actually go through some stuff to be a driver.
By the way, I have advice for women too. Don't use taxis alone late at night outside of places like nightclubs. I
Yes.
mean, you don't use taxis, but use Grab. Use Grab only. Apparently, okay, I can't speak for Bolt, but Grab is the most reliable one, like Joe said.
All right, and I'll be honest with you, this is just me. When I'm for some reason, when I'm in Bangkok, I always use Grab. When I'm in Pattaya, I always use Bolt. Don't ask me why. It just seems to work out that way for me. But anyways, folks, Dan, do you have anything else to add?
Not off the top of my head.
Well, here we're going to give you a little call to action, my friends. We want this channel to grow. So if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more travel tips. Please, if you can share your experience in the comments section, or if you maybe want to add something. If there's a certain video you want us to do, please just tell us. And remember, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for everything you do. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch our videos. But please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification button, and share with your family and friends. Dan?
Grab your independent mind and Blake.
Peace.